So this is the All33 Backstrong chair with the fabric. So I'm going to talk about a little bit later what it's like to sit in this chair, but I thought I'd just at least show sort of some up close of this chair. The color's pretty vibrant. That's what I was hoping for when I selected this color. The materials, it certainly feels sturdy. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the way it looks, especially as normally when it's at my desk, I'm looking at the back of it. You get a big piece of plastic. And, this sort of warning here, not to put your hand in there, okay? But, and I also noticed that, so you can lift these arms up. They are extraordinarily wide apart, so I certainly haven't actually found these armrests particularly useful, but I've also noticed they're actually at different heights, and there's no way to adjust that. I don't know if it will come out on the video, but this one feels much higher than this one, and I don't know what to do about that. So anyway, and you've got an adjustment under here to increase or decrease the sort of resistance when you lean back. See, there's some instructions and stuff there. And then this obviously latches or unlatches the lean back. And what else is there to say about this? I've also noticed, I've only had this for a couple of weeks. I just dusted this off because this is actually a pretty big dust trap in here. So that's something to be aware of, that you're going to have to clean that out on a fairly regular basis, unless you want to sit on a big dust pit. But yes, that is the chair. And as I'll explain, I am planning on returning this. Okay, so I'm 6 foot tall, around about 180 pounds, and sitting in this chair, so what you're going to do is you're going to sit and really sit as far back as you can, as I understand it. And this is with the seat in the locked position at the moment, and I've set the height up so that when I'm at my desk, my arms are at sort of 90 degrees, which is, as I understand it, how you're meant to set up for ergonomics. And then you're meant to, if your feet are too far off the ground, based on your chair, you're meant to lift them up. But, as it is when you sit down, there are two things that you notice, fairly quickly, but certainly something that after a few hours of trying to work on this chair really became problematic. So the first is that, this, back piece, it definitely, unless you're tilting the chair back, really sticks into your back. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I have really poor posture, and this is just how it should be, and this is how your back gets corrected. But, for sure, the first few days I had this chair, it was very painful. Very painful. As in, the whole evening I had to be lying in the fetal position, trying to not trying to get over the pain that it had caused. So I was thinking at the time, maybe that's how it should be. But anyway, so that's one thing you have to get used to. And to be honest, over a few weeks of using this chair, I did get used to that. It still was never comfortable for me to sit in this chair. But anyway, that's one thing. But then when your back finally sort of adjusts to this, the thing that you really notice after sitting on this chair for a few hours at a time, or even an hour at a time, to be honest, or even now I can feel it because I'm sort of, gotten used to it, is, well, not even gotten used to it, but I'm sensitive to it, let's say, is that there's always pressure on the bottoms of your legs, because even if you, say, want to lift up your legs in order to sort of, alleviate some of the pressure on your back or lift up your feet, the chair, because of the way it's designed, moves with your legs, and so there's no way to relieve pressure on your thighs here, and it gets really painful. This cushion is not particularly thick, and I just could not find a way of adjusting myself or sitting or doing whatever I needed to make this seat comfortable. One, from the pain it caused on my back, and then secondarily the pain that it caused on the backs of my legs. After a few weeks, certainly the pain that it causes on the back of my legs was the thing I really didn't like the most. So I am returning this chair. That's another thing to be aware of, that the 60-day money back guarantee, you have to pay for the return shipping. I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but I've been quoted between $200 and $300 to return it. But being that this chair costs between, depending on what sale they have going on, $600 to $1,000, I wasn't gonna keep a chair which I found incredibly uncomfortable. Maybe it will fit for some people, maybe I'm the wrong height, shape, weight, but it really didn't work for me, however much I tried and however many videos I tried to watch on the correct sitting. I also contacted their support and I didn't really hear anything that particularly useful. So that's where it is. Yeah, back pain might be my own fault for having really bad posture, but that's what this seat was meant to help with, and also just the pressure on the back of the legs was. So one thing I didn't show, which maybe would be useful, is how much this reclines. So in the lock position, this is about as far back as you can go, and then unlocking it, you can go back this much. I don't really know. I mean, and with this, again, with the motion you have, maybe if you sort of pushing up again, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I haven't figured out how to make this chair work for me. But anyway, that's the range of motion that you get out of this. These don't adjust or move. So yes, this is the full range of motion, and you can adjust this tension if you want. That's about it. And you get one lock position, so it's either like this, where you can go throughout the whole motion and you can adjust that tension, or you can lock into place and you sort of push it back that much. So then one last thing I'll show on this is the sort of height of the seat, I guess. So this is the position I needed it set up to be, as somebody who's around 6 foot. So I've got the seat cushion itself is like 21 inches from the ground. Let's put it all the way at the bottom now. So this is as low as it goes, which, by the way, my wife, who I think is pretty average height, her legs were almost dangling off at this point. It's way too high, I think, at the lowest setting, which is around 18 inches. And then the highest, I don't know what giant needs this, but anyway, that's around 22 inches from the ground. Just to show you, I guess I can about touch there, but if I want to lean back at all, I can't, I guess. Yes, so it's definitely designed for big people. Well, I don't know who this is designed for because it doesn't really fit me, but so anyway, that's the sort of height range of motion. I think that is really the last thing about this chair that I can explain or share. So I hope that was useful. I'm going to return it, so I can't really answer any additional questions, at least if you need to refer to the chair, but I can at least explain more of my experience. So there we go.